Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to build this dev portfolio, and it's a single page React app next. And as you can see, first we have some intro here, a simple logo, links for navigation so it will scroll down. We have some cool animation when we scroll down for the skills and for portfolio and experience. Let me scroll faster so you can see portfolio, experience, it unfolds. Then even for buttons, and at the end we have thanks for scrolling. So a lot of animation, even for intro. We have some fade in animation for those and for about. Then for the skills, we have some fade in from the left. From follow, we have some fade in from the right. For experience, it unfolds with those lines. Those lines grow, and underneath we have only some buttons and thanks scrolling. When we click on the navigation links, it smoothly scrolls to the correct section, and you have some social links that you can add the links to, and that's basically it. I think it's a cool website to build. It's a really simple next.js React app, so even if you can't React, it's mostly HTML and CSS Sass, so it's super easy to build if you can HTML and CSS, and it looks really nice if you apply for a job. So yeah, the only thing you need is a photo that should be black and white, and you just need to cut the background from your photo, and that's we are going to use React and next we are going to use mainly for server-side rendering. So yeah, let's jump into the code. So here inside I have my editor open. It's completely empty. I have just this portfolio directory, and here I will open a terminal window, and inside my portfolio directory I will install now a next.js app. So you can do this with npx create next app, or as I prefer, you can do this also with yarn, and I prefer yarn because it's a little bit faster. So yarn create next app and just dot, so it will install in this current directory. All right, so now it's installed, and as you can see, we get a lot of files here, and now we need to start the server, and the start command is here. So we just do next dev, or we can actually do just yarn dev, I think. Yeah, and we got this link here that we can open and see the preview of our website. So for now, it's an empty Next.js start page, but inside the pages, we get this index.js file. And in here, you can see that it's JSX, so React-ish style of HTML, but we can start by just removing everything here, and we'll just put an empty div. All right, let's save it, and as you can see, it's empty now. We get some dark background because I think it comes from this home module CSS. Let's open this one, and well, I will start by removing everything from here. And if I save, nothing changed. Let's see if we have some more styles somewhere here. Inside styles, we have this home module, and then we have also globals. I will remove everything from here as well. Yeah, that's better. So now let's see what we should start with. So we need to start with this first section. And actually we are going to start with this header here. So let's say that every screen or every section will be a section element here inside our index page. So maybe instead of using div as a main element, let's just put the main, not like this, but like this, main. All right. And inside, let's put a section with, I don't know, let's put an ID of intro, so we can style it inside the CSS. And well, now let's add some styling. So here we have styles for home, but yeah, we can use this one, but actually, as you can see, it's CSS and we want to use Sass instead. So I think I will create a new file here inside styles, and let's call this one intro.scss. And let's start by saying that the intro section, so let's do section with ID intro, should have some background color of, I don't know what is this color, but I will check it. Let's scroll up here. Let's pick the color and let's see. I will copy this color and let's put it here with a hashtag. And as you can see, now we have changed because this file intro.scss is not used anywhere. It's just created, but we need to import it somewhere here. So let's put it like this. Let's do just import styles from, I think it should go like this, /styles/intro.scss. And we get an error because we can't import like this. As you can see, global CSS cannot be imported from files other than your custom app. So, so instead of putting it here, I will remove it from here and let's go to our main app component. As you can see, we have some globals here, but let's also put our home styles, and here we have, intro as CSS. And now, as you can see, to use next.js built-in Sass support, you first need to install Sass. So you can do npm install Sass or yarn add Sass. And actually I will use yarn. So let me open console and I will do yarn add Sass. Now I will restart my app, Ctrl+C, and let's run this again. And well, I think it worked. We don't see anything yet because our section here inside body, I would make this a little bigger. Here we have main and here we have section intro is 0 pixels in height. But if we would do like height 100 pixels, then we could see that works. But instead, let's go to our index.js and let's put some things here inside like test. So we know it works, and here we have the test. All right, we need to fix some global styles. As you can see, the body of the page has some margins here that we should get rid of. So let's go to globals, and for body, let's, and even for the HTML, I think, let's do margin 0 and padding 0. Oh, actually, we can do this for all elements. So asterisk and margin 0, padding 0. And now I would also like to add the box sizing to border box. So it will be easier for us to calculate the width and height and stuff like this. It will include the border padding and the size. All right, let's go back to index.js. And let's see. So we have our intro section here, and now we need to put a header. So for the header, we need this logo icon. So I will take this one and I will copy this. And now let's go to new from clipboard, and I will just quickly export this one as PNG export. And inside my portfolio, let's go to public, and maybe let's create a new directory called EMG for images. And here inside, let's do just logo. Let's save, and let's see if we have it inside our editor, inside public with images, and we have logo.png. Right, that should work. So we have our main element, we have our section intro, and this section intro will be actually this part, but first we need to create a header. So here the first element will be header, and inside header let's put an emg that will go to emg/logo.png. So we have our logo here. Now, as you can see, the header doesn't get this color. So I think that maybe we can just set this color for the whole body. So let's see. I will go to intro as CSS, and the same background color that we have for our intro div, intro section, I will put the same thing inside our globals. So for body element, I want to have the same background color. Yeah, that will be a little bit easier. So let's go back to our index.js, and let's see. Right, we have our logo. Now we need some navigation. So as you can see here in the middle, we have some simple navigation, just 3 elements: about, portfolio, and contact. So I will do navigation tag, and inside I will do 3 links. So let's do a times 3, and let's see. Now let's put every link inside in a separate line like this. And well, the first one will be about me, the second will be portfolio, and the last one will be contact, just about like this. So we have our 3 links here that are barely visible, and let's add some alternative text here, maybe logo. Yeah, and well, now the third element that we need on the most right side will be this search. But I think actually instead of doing search, we can do social icons like those. So I think I will use LinkedIn, and I will also do Instagram. So let's see. The last part will be a div with social icons inside. So let's do div, and let's say it will be 2 links. So I will do a times 2. So we have 2 links, and now we need some icons here inside. So let's say that the first icon will be a LinkedIn. So I will go to hero icons, and here let's find a LinkedIn icon. They don't have any. Let's test with Instagram. No. Let's maybe then try Font Awesome icons, and here LinkedIn. Yeah, and do we want this one or this one? Let's do this one. So for React, they want us to use this, but I think it will be much easier with SVG code. So I copy this SVG and I put it here, and let's see what happens if I hit save. So it has some problems with those comments. I will just remove this comment, this HTML comment. And now as you can see, it works. We will need also at least another icon, and I think it will be Instagram. So let's do Instagram, and here I think this one is much prettier. So I will take this one, copy SVG, put it here, and on the beginning there was some kind of comment that we want to get rid of. So I'll copy this, or I will select this one, and I will just remove it. Yeah, and I think that even for LinkedIn we will change for outline kind of icon. So let's do LinkedIn, and I will take this one instead. Let's copy SVG, let's get rid of this one, and let's put the new one. But we want to get rid of this comment here. Yeah, now let's see. Yeah, so we have our icons here, and then we have our links, and we have the logo. Now let's try to position this everything. So let's go to our styles, and let's see. Here we have intro, and this is actually header, so it's not part of the intro. But I will create a new CSS file then. Let's do new file, and let's do header.scss, and let's include this one inside our app.js. So here let's also import the styles header.scss, and now for our header let's do display of flex. Yeah, and that's a little better. And well, now the icons are not visible, and we would love to have some padding here. So let's see, top. As you can see, first everything is centered. As you can see, the about is centered. This part, every part of the page is centered. So let's first center this. Let's say that the max width of the header will be maybe 780 pixels, and the margin will be 0 auto, so it will be centered. So as you can see now, this part will be centered, our header will be centered. Now we don't see our icons, so let's see where they are. So inside the header we have this div here that has icons inside, or links with icons. So let's maybe add some class name first. So here we have this div. Let's add the class name of social, and now we can, inside our header, let's do header div social, and we have a tags inside and svg inside a tag. So let's say that svgs should be should be in height. They should be, let's say, 40 pixels. Yeah, so now they are visible. We would like to have some space in between those, so let's style those links that are, maybe let's add some padding, it will be easier. So first, as you can see, that the height of the A tag is much smaller than the SVG inside. So I will do display inline block, and that should fix it. No, it did not. Maybe because we need to do the same for the A tag here. So let's do display inline block. And now we want to have some spacing between here. So let's say that on each SVG, we will add some margin on the sides of, let's say it will be 0 on the top and the bottom and 10 pixels on the sides. Yeah, that's a little better. So now we have this header here, but now our links are not visible and the icons are not centered. So I think I can start by, there's something to do with the items. We need to make them centered. So let's do justify items center. Oh, sorry, not justify items, align items center. So now the social icons are in the middle, and same with the links here. But links are not visible. So here inside our header, we have this navigation tag. So let's do header nav A, and now the links inside should be much brighter. There should be grayish, and the one that we are hovering will be white. So let's say that the default color will be, let's start with white, but the default one should actually be darker. So I will use RGBA. Let's start with white. So 255, 255, 255, and this will, and with one, this will be white. But if we do 0.7, then it will be grayish. Let's do 0.6. Yeah. And now the next part is I would like to fix this font, because as you can see, this doesn't look like this. So the fonts that we are going to use, we are going to import them from Google Fonts. So the first one will be Roboto. So let's take this one, and we are going to need this regular, and I think that's it for Roboto. Maybe let's also grab bold in case we need this. Right now, let's go back here. There is other font we are going to need, and it's this one. It's a serif font. So even here and here. So we have two fonts, Roboto that I already selected, and the other one is Serif Pro. Yeah, source Serif Pro. This is the one we are going to use. And here as well, I will take regular and bold. Now I will click here to view selected families, and we have this Roboto, regular, bold, and we have source Serif Pro, regular, bold. And here you can use link to put it inside head of your website, or as I prefer, you can use this import to put it inside the CSS. So let's see, I will put this inside let's put it inside the globals. So we put it at the top here. Yeah, let's save and let's see. Now, as you can see, the font is the same, because now we need to add those things. So let's say that default font for our website will be Roboto. So for our body, I will put font family Roboto sans serif, and now the font has changed here. Right, so now the next thing is I want to get some separation between the links. So let's go to header as CSS, and for the links, yes, the first thing is the navigation should be that small. It should take as much space as possible, pushing the logo and the links and the social links to the sides. So I think we can solve this by using inside header nav. We can do flex grow to 1. Yeah, and now we can see that the social icons are on the right side, but our navigation is this big. Now we need to make our links centered. So inside navigation, we can do a text line center. And now the links are on the middle, and but we want to have some spacing between them. So I think I can add some padding here. Let's say it will be 10 pixels on the top and the bottom, and 10 pixels on the sides. Yeah, I think this will work. Now I want to get rid of this underline, so let's do text decoration none. Yeah, that's better. Let's see here. I think that will work. Now for our header, we need some spacing. Oops, we need some spacing from the top. So for the header element, let's say that we will add some padding from the top of 50 pixels. Maybe that's too much. Let's do 20. Yeah, that will be enough. All right. So now let's style our social icons that we have here. So let's make them smaller to maybe 20 pixels, and let's change the color to the same that we have on the links, like this. Yeah. And now for the hover color on the links, on those links, I would like to have white. So let's do header navigation a tag on hover. I want the color to be white. So let's do just white. Yeah, better. Yeah, and think we can go to the next part, which will be this intro section finally. So let's go to our index.js and let's see. So we have this section ID intro that we have just tested inside. But we need something else. Let's see. We need to have two parts. The first part will be this text with contact me link, and the second part will be this image. So I think that inside we can put just two divs. So we'll do div times 2, and in the first div we'll put some text. So I'll put a paragraph here, and inside I will do just I'm David Pashko, and let's see, let's break line here, and underneath we want to have a full stack developer, code enthusiast, and YouTuber. So do full stack developer, full stack like this, code enthusiast, and the YouTuber. Yeah, so now we get this text here, and it's dark, but we are going to fix it. Then on the right side we have this image. Yeah, and sorry, I forgot about this link. So let's see, we have this paragraph with this text, but underneath let's put a link, so a tag, and it will be contact me. Let's put it like this for now. And on the right side, so on this inside the second div, let's put an image that we don't have yet, that we don't for now, but let's export this one. So I will do export here as PNG, yeah, and I will name this as me. And let's save this one, and let's now go to images. Source will be /images/ me.png. So yeah, I think I exported the wrong thing. Yeah, I exported the whole document. I want to export just this one. So let's select this one, copy, new from clipboard, this one, export, PNG export, me.png, save, replace. And now let's refresh. Yeah, and we have my photo here. Now let's style our intro section, so the text will be on the left and I will be on the right side. So let's go to, we created this intro as CSS, and we don't need this background color because it's on the whole body. But for our intro, we want to make it narrow. So let's do max width of, actually we should have the same max width that we had on our header here. So I will just copy this for now. Let's go back to intro, and here I'll put it like this, and margin will be 0 auto, so it will be centered. Yes. Now I will also put here display flex. So we'll have this one on the left and this one on the right. Now let's see. Now everything should be in the middle, including the text. So let's do align item center. Yes. Now the texts here inside, let's style them. So as you can see, they are white. Only this, my name is gold-ish. So let's do like this. Let's inside the section intro, we have this paragraph, and the color inside should be white. So let's do white or FFF. It will be the same. Should be much bigger. So let's do font size of 2 rem. And now this part should be much bigger than this part. So let's see, we have this section intro here, and we have two divs, the left and the right. Maybe let's start by making this image smaller. So let's do section intro. The image inside should be smaller. So let's do max width of 300 pixels and let's see. Yeah, I think that's a little better. All right, now I would like to add a break line here. So let's go back to our index.js. Let's fix this one. Why does it show that something's wrong? We should replace it with apostrophe like this. That would be better for React to understand this. We have break line here, but after the comma, let's add another break line. Full stack JavaScript developer. Let's add JavaScript developer. Yeah, and this should work. So let's go back to intro.scss. So now text is, maybe we can make it a little bit smaller. Let's do 1.8 rem. Yes. And let's see, we have intro here. The image should be aligned to the right side, but as you can see, it's not, it's aligned to the left. So actually inside our intro, we can do justify content and we can do a space between. Yeah, so we have space between those. Yeah, the space that was on the end of the section, now it's in the middle. Now we need to style this text a little better. We need to make my name this goldish. So let's go back to our index.js and let's see. Let's put my name inside a span element, span, and let's close this one, span here. And now we can do that section intro. If we have a span here, it will be the color of gold, but not this gold. We will pick the gold from this icon here. So I copied this one and let's put it here. So that's better, but it's not exactly the same. Now, as you can see, it uses this different font. This different font that we have here, it's Source Serif Pro. This is the font we are going to need. So let's put it inside span like this. And now let's see if it worked. Yes, it did. But we need to make this text bigger. So let's do font size. Let's do 3 rem and see. I think it worked. Let's see here. Yes, maybe we can make it bold. So let's do font weight bold. Maybe it shouldn't be that bold. Let's see if we remove this. Let's make it even a little bit bigger, 3.2. We need something like semi-bold, something between regular and bold. We have bold here 700, but let's add semi-bold here. Let's close this one. Let's add semi-bold on our source serif font. And now let's see. On the import, they added this 600 on the source serif. So I think we can just copy everything and let's go to globals CSS. We could actually rename this to SCSS, but it doesn't matter just for this file. And let's see. Now let's go back to intro and let's see here. Let's do font wave, but not bold, but let's do 600. So as you can see, yeah, 600 is much better. I can change to 700, which is bold. And as you can see, bold is too bold, but 600 works great. Right, maybe we can add some extra spacing between the lines. Let's do line height of, let's do 3 rem. Maybe that's too much. Let's do 2.6 and that will work. Now the link here underneath, let's do section intro and the link, a tag inside. It should look like a button. So let's do border of let's say 2 pixels solid and this gold color that we have here. So we'll copy this, but we are starting to copying these values. I think it would be much better to use some variables. So let's try to put it inside our globals, but globals is not a CSS file, it's just CSS. So I will refactor to rename it. I will add S here. Now it doesn't work because we need to rename it also inside our app.js. Here we have globals, yeah, and it worked. Let's go to globals as CSS and let's add some variables. So let's put gold, will be this. Now let's see if we can use it inside our intro. So for this a tag, instead of using this, let's put gold. and this didn't work. Why? Because those files, those two files, globals and intro, are imported separately. So as you can see here, we have this globals, and then we have header, and then we have intro. But to use variables, we need to put them together. So I think we can put another file here, and let's call this one that's just home.scss. And this home module, we are not going to use it, so just delete it. And inside home, let's just let's import globals, and let's also import header, and let's also import intro. Yeah, and now inside our home SCSS, we have imported globals first. So we have imported the variable from here that we can use later inside intro. Now we can fix that inside our app.js. We don't need all those three. We just need one. So I will just do home.scss. Now, as you can see, everything works. So let's go back to our intro, and we have this gold, and it works here. Same should be for the color of this text here. So let's do also gold, and it worked. Text decoration should be none. Let's add some padding of 10 pixels on the top and the bottom, 20 on the sides maybe. Yes, that should work. Let's do display of inline block, so it will respect the margins here and the paddings. And now let's see, the border should be thicker and it should be rounded a little bit. So let's do here 3 pixels, and let's add border radius of 3 pixels. Not enough. Let's do 5, 7. Yeah, I think 7 will work. Right, now this button should be centered. So inside our paragraph, because this A tag, this button is inside the paragraph. No, it's actually not. So think maybe if I will add text aligned to center on the whole intro, but now even this text is aligned to the middle, but I can change it here inside paragraph. So let's do align text align to left, but just on this paragraph. Now we just need some margin from the top here on our bottom link. So let's do margin top of 20 pixels. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's compare it with this one. Well, actually it shouldn't be in the middle. So we'll just get rid of those text lines. It should be on the left, but it should be a little bit bigger. So let's do font size. Font size of, let's try with this 1.8. It's too big. Let's do 1.4. Yeah, I think this one will work. So I think we are kind of done with this CSS for intro section. But the last thing I would like to add is some animation. So to make it look much cooler, I will add some CSS that will be added on the beginning, and we'll add some animations. So let's go to our index.js, and actually to make it look a little better, I will just cut the section from here, and I will put it inside a separate component. So I will create a new directory here called components, and inside let's do our first component called intro.js. All right, and here inside let's do export default. Let's do just intro. It's a function, I forgot, function, and it will just return the thing that we've cut from there. Now we can reuse this inside our index. So let's do intro like this, and it has been imported from me. So if it doesn't do it for you, you need to add this line at the top of the index file, our home page that we have here. All right, so let's see. Now inside our intro, I would like to add a class name to this section when it loads, when it shows. So I will use effect here. So use effect has 2 params. The first one is a function or a callback, and the second is dependencies that will be empty in our example, because this should run only when this intro section has been rendered or mounted. So let's say that we will have let's say that we want to have some class names here, class name, and we want to use a variable here. So on the beginning it should be empty, but then after the component mounts, it should add the class name. So to this we'll use state. So let's do const, and the state will be called the classes. Let's do classes, set classes, and use state, and default will be empty string. So now we can use classes here. Let's add some spacing so it will be easier to read. And now when the component mounts, let's use set classes, and let's add a class name of visible. Why not? So now, as you can see on our section, we have this class name visible. So what can we do with this? Let's go to our intro as CSS, and let's see. We have this image here. Maybe we can start with this image. Let's say that opacity on this image will be 0. So now it's not visible. But if the section intro has a class name of visible, then the image will have opacity of 1. Yeah. So now if we load, it's just visible. If we add a transition here, let's add transition of on the opacity, the length will be 0.3 seconds, and the transition function will be linear. Now if we load, you can see it's fading in. If I change it to maybe 3 seconds, it's fading in, but I want to make it faster, so I would do 0.3. Maybe we can do 0.5. Yeah. Now I will also add some animation on this paragraph. So let's say that on the beginning, the paragraph will be opacity also 0, and let's also add the visible part of this paragraph. So if section intro has this visible class, the paragraph should have opacity of 1, and we need to add transition here. Transition on the opacity, or we can do on everything, will be 0.3 seconds, and linear function here. So now if we refresh, it fades in, but we can add some extra things here. Let's do that the position will be relative, and the left will be minus 50 pixels. And here, when it's visible, let's do that left will be 0. So now if I refresh, it fades in from the left side. Let's do the same for the button, but for the button, we'll do that it will fade in from the bottom to the top. So here we have our button, the A tag. So I will copy all those 3 and put it here. And now instead of left, let's do bottom. And now when it shows up, let's do section intro, visible class, the A tag should be bottom 0, bottom 0, and opacity of 1. Now let's see. Yes, this will work, but I think I forgot about opacity 0 here. Let's do opacity 0. Now let's see. Yeah, that looks nice. Maybe we can do that the text comes from the top. So let's do the top minus 50, but then it will be 0. See now? Yeah, I think this one is better. All right, let's go to the next section. So here we have section about. Let's see. So let's create a new component for our about section. Let's do about.js, and here the same that we did for intro, export default function about and return, and this will just return a section with ID of about. Yeah, and here we'll just put about section as a text here. Now we can go to our index.js, and under the intro we can put about, and you need to import it here as well, about, like this. But I think and here we have this about section, so you can see. But think that even for the header, we can put it inside a separate component, so it will look better. So let's cut this thing. Let's put new file. Let's do header.js, and let's do export default header. Sorry, I forgot function here. And let's do return, and I will just paste it here. So now we don't see the header, but let's just add it here, header, and now it works. Now for the section with ID about, let's open this one and let's see. First, let's put some content here. So first we have this header. So maybe let's use header 2, and it will say about. Then underneath we have some text. Let's see. So we have this text. I would just put lorem ipsum here. Yeah. And underneath we have another header, but this time the header is centered, and this header is about skills. So maybe we can put it as another section. Let's put those skills as another section. So for now, I will just fix this about. So this will be our about section. So here, as you can see, we have a different background color. This one differs from this one, and we have like a little bit of shadow here. Here. So let's start by fixing the color. So I will pick the color from here and I will copy this one. And let's see, we don't have any styling for our about section. So I'll create a new file called about.scss and I will import this one as well to our home. So to import about, and inside our about, let's do that section with ID about. We'll have background color of the one that I have just copied here. Yeah, so as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but this color is different than this one. Now the next part, that this content inside should be centered. But the problem is if we do max width here, it's a max width of, I don't know, 600 pixels. You can see that it's more narrow now, but including the background color. So we want the color to take the whole width. So let's say that this section about will take the whole width, so it will use this background color, but the element inside it will make it more narrow, so it will be the same width as this intro and this header here. So I think that inside our globals, we can actually add a class name called center. And here inside we can do max width of 780, and we can do margin of 0 and out on the sides. And now let's go to our about section, and inside this, let's do just div center, and let's just put those things inside here, but let's not copy them. Let's just remove from here. Yeah, and now let's see. So we have this section about here. We need to remove this max width from the about section. So let's remove. Yeah, and now the content inside is centered because of this div that sits inside this one. All right, now let's fix the about header. So we have this header that's black, and let's fix it. So I think that for all headers like this one, we have this one and this one, and then we have those and this one. Maybe we can just make them all white and the same font. So let's put it inside our globals. So globals will be styling for many sections, and let's do that H2. H2 will have a font family of sans serif pro. Yeah, so it has this font, and the color will be white. Maybe the white color we can even set it on the body, so default color will be white on everything. So we can remove this color from here, but let's see, let's set also default size on this on those headers. So let's do font size, and let's say it will be 2 rem. Let's see, is it big enough? I don't think so. Let's 3, and it's about, but it's too bold, I think. Let's do font wave, and let's change this to 600. I think this one works best. All right, so we get this header here, and we have some text here. Yeah, and now we need to fix this line here and this shadow. So maybe let's start with the shadow. Let's go back to our about section, and let's try to add some shadow. So let's do box shadow, and first let's do inset, so it will be inside the box. And well, let's try with 0, 20 pixels, and let's do RGBA, and let's do black. So let's do 0, 0, 0, and the black of 80%. Now we have this black shadow, but well, we need to change probably this one to be 0 as well. No, now we have shadow on each side, but we only want to have it from the top. So let's see, I will put by this 20 here, and I think this is what we need though. I don't see shadow on the sides, so I think this will work, but the shadow should be much smaller. So let's change this to 10 and this thing to 10 as well. And it shouldn't be that dark. Instead, it should be much brighter. So we'll do 0.4. Yeah, even brighter. So let's do 0.3. Yeah, I think this will work. Can be even lighter. So let's do 0.2. And I think this will work. So now we need some spacing here because we have a lot of spacing here. So on the section about, let's do padding from the top will be 100 pixels. Yeah, so we have like a lot of spacing here. Yeah, and now under the headers, we get some spacing as well, like, I don't know, 20. So let's go to globals, and for our header 2, let's do margin bottom will be 20 pixels. Yes. Yeah, and this will work. Now for our about, we need this gold line here. So let's go to about as CSS and let's see. So we have this section about, and inside we have this p tag for paragraph, and we want to have an extra element before this. So let's do colon before, and let's put content will be empty. Oops, content, or let's maybe put something like test to see that it works. Yeah, so you can see we have this test here, and but we will just remove it, and let's add display of block. And the thing is, we want to make a square or a rectangle here. So let's do width of 30 pixels. The height will be, I don't know, 2 pixels, and the background color will be gold. So we have this line here. Now I don't know if you can see this. We have this gold line here, but now we want to put it, the text should be on the right side here. So let's say that the paragraph will have some padding from the left side. So let's say that paragraph will have padding from the left of, I don't know, 50 pixels. Yeah, this works, but it moved with this line. And for the line, we want to do something else. We want to pull it to the left. So let's see, let's maybe try with margin left on negative. Let's do negative 50 pixels. Yeah, it worked, but let's also add some margin from the top, margin top of 20. This didn't work. Maybe let's change this padding top. Let's see. No, this will not work. Instead of margin top, let's do position relative, and let's do top 20 pixels. This worked, but it's too much. Think it should be just 10. Yeah, and this will work. Let's see, the line should be wider. So let's do width of 50, and here padding left, let's do 60, and here margin left minus 60. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's see the text. Maybe we can make the text a little bigger. I don't know. I will just zoom in a little bit, and let's see. Maybe we can add some spacing between lines. So let's do here line height of 2 rem. That's too much. Let's do 1.6. Yeah, that will work. Let's add some more top here for the line, and maybe we can make this text a little bit bigger. So let's do font size of 1.3 rem. Yeah, maybe 1.2. Yeah, and line height, let's do 1 point, and let's increase the top on this line to 14, maybe 15. Yeah, this will work. Let's see. Yeah, I think this will work for now. So let's close this one. Let's see. Yeah, I think it looks okay. Now let's go to the next section, my skills, where we will put those tiles or squares, and we'll add some cool animation on those. So let's see, in our index.js, we want to put skills here underneath. So maybe let's create a new component here, and let's call this one skills.js. And here, as always, export default function skills, and it will just return a section with ID of skills. And let's see, we can put an h2 inside that will say skills. And well, then we have like some squares. Let's say we will do 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 8. So let's say that we'll have a div with a class name skills, and inside we will have a div with class name skill times 8. And inside each, as you can see, we have image, and then we have also like a label or text. So inside each, I will add an image and a span element for text. And inside this, I will put a text of, let's do JavaScript with a small s. Yeah, and we have it here. Let's see. We don't see anything because we need to import this skill to our index.js. So let's put it here. Skills. Yeah, so we have it here and we have 8 times JavaScript. Right, so now the skills should also have the same background color as this one. So we don't have an SCSS file for skills, but let's add it. So it's new file skills.scss. And well, first we need to change the color. So let's do section ID skills. Should have background color of this grayish, same gray that this about has. So I will just copy this one about, and we have this background color here, and I want to put it here. So we have section skills, but as you can see, the background color didn't change because I forgot to import it to home as CSS. So let's import skills. And now we want to center the skills to the middle. So inside skill.js, maybe we should rename it to skills, the file name, but it doesn't really matter that much. Inside, let's put a div with class name center. As you can remember, we had this class name to center the things inside it. So if I put my content here, this has been centered for me. We need some spacing under the about section. Let's see. Yeah, we should have like the same padding that we have above. So let's go to our about.scss, and with this padding top of 100, let's change it to padding 100 on the top and the bottom, but 0 on the sides. Yeah, so we have some padding here even on the bottom. Now the H2 inside this section skills should be centered. So let's go to skills.scss, and section skills have this H2. It has some default styling that we put inside global styles, but let's also add text align of center. So now it's in the middle. And now we can create those squares or those skill boxes. So let's see how it looks like. We have this skills, but we have skills as ID, skills as a class name, and then skill singular as a class. Maybe we can rename this skill to skill box and this skills to skills container like this. Now we need to put some images also here. So let's see what kind of images do we need. We need like a JavaScript icon. So let's open Google Images and let's do JavaScript icon. And yeah, I think we can take this one and let's see. Let's click download here, free download, and we have it here. Let's put it inside our public, but not inside public. It should be, let's put it inside images. Yeah, so inside images, we have this JS PNG. So let's put it inside every skill for now. So we have those sources, and let's, just for now, put that inside images, javascript.png. So we have JavaScript times. But now let's style our boxes. So let's go to skills.css, and we have this class name called skill box, if I remember correctly. And let's see, how do we want it to look like? First, let's put all 8 skills as a grid. So we have this skills container, and we want to display this as a grid. Let's do grid, and now let's do grid template columns. We want to have 4 columns of the same width. So let's do 4 fr, and this didn't work. Let's see, let's inspect here. We have skills container and we have this grid here. Well, let's make the image smaller. So let's do skill box, and the image inside, let's make it smaller. So we can do width of, I don't know, 100 pixels. it will be smaller. So we can see how it looks like. So we're saying this one is actually wrong. It should be 4FR. We should actually do 1FR, 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 1FR. So it will be 4 columns. Yes. And instead of repeating, we can do repeat. And let's see, inside 4 times 1FR. Yeah, it will be the same result. Now, let's see what happens if we remove this 100 pixels. The image is really huge, but let's add some extra global styling. On all images, as the max width of 100%. That's much better. Now inside skills as CSS, let's see, what do we want to do? Let's add some styling just for a skill box. So we want to have a different background color on the skill box. So let's pick a color and I will copy this one and let's go here and let's do background color of this with hashtag and let's add some padding of, let's try with 20 pixels. So this kind of works, but now we want to have some gaps between those columns. So here I will just do gap of, let's do 20 pixels. Yeah, so now we have some gaps here in between. Let's see. Yeah, I think the padding should be much bigger than 20 pixels. Let's try with 40, but not here. Here we can do 20. Let's do 40 pixels here. I think this is much better. And we can do text align off center. And let's see, under the image, we want to have some spacing, I think, between the image and this text. Yeah, so skill box inside the image. Let's add the display of block on the image and let's add margin bottom of, say, at least 10 pixels. This is much better. I don't know if we have the same background color here on the skills and about. I will just copy this color once again and I will try to quickly put it inside skills. Yes, it is the same. No worries. But now let's make the corners rounded here for each skill box. So let's do border radius of 50 pixels. That will be too much. 5, I don't know, 15. I think 15 work. Maybe we can go down to 10. Yeah, this will work. Now for the image, we can make it much smaller. So let's say that the image will have max width of 60 pixels. Yeah, so it's smaller. Let's change it to inline block. So maybe it will become centered. Yes, it did. Now let's see. Maybe the gaps between those skills can be bigger. Let's do 30 pixels. Yeah, it's funny to see everywhere just JavaScript, but well, maybe we can add something else. Let's maybe also download the HTML icon. Let's do HTML icon. Yeah, let's take this one, download, free download, and inside images, let's put our HTML. And now let's also search for CSS, free download. Let's put it here. What else do we want to have? Let's do React. Let's take this one, download, free download, and let's put it inside images. Where else? MongoDB. But maybe we can just take this one as a database. Let's put it here. Let's see, what do we have? Something more. Maybe we can do Git or something. Oh, this will be enough. You can change more icons yourself. So we have JavaScript. Let's also add the HTML. And here I will put CSS. And we also, oops, it should be just .png. Yeah, and let's also add this database. And now let's also update the labels to HTML, CSS, and MongoDB. Oops, MongoDB. We can actually copy those 4 and we can put those underneath. So it will be, those will repeat. Yeah, maybe we can put it in the another order. So we'll have something like this. Yeah, and now let's see how it looks comparing to this. Yeah, I think it looks fine. So now let's see if I close this one. Now for the skills, I would like to have some animation that when I scroll down to the skills, I want them to go like, so they will show in order. So we have this skills CSS, and well, first maybe add a class name on the skills box when the skills are visible. So if we go to skill.js, let's add the class name here, or sorry, we have already class name here. So I will put it like here, and now I will also add extra classes as a state. Let's do extra classes and set extra classes, use state, default will be a string, and now I can do extra classes and this string. But now I will use effect here, and well, now I would like to have that when I scroll down, it will add those classes here and some kind of extra classes like visible or something. But because I think I will put it inside several elements, I will put it not inside a specific component, but I will put it inside our index.js instead. So here I will do use effect, and the first param is an empty function for now, and the second will be empty array because we don't have any dependencies. And now when our index page renders, I want to add something called intersection observer. So it will observe our scrolling, and when something shows up, when a specific observed element will be visible, it will do something with it. So let's do something like this. Let's do const observer equals new intersection observer. And here, as you can see, we have a callback and options. The first is callback, so let's put an empty function here, and then we have options. So I will just do empty object, or let's just skip options for now. So here inside this callback, we want to tell the intersection observer what should be done with the elements that are observed. So for example, we want to observe this container with skills. So actually on this callback, we will get also params that intersection observer will pass for us. The first param will be entries, and the second param will be actually options. So I will just add it as well, but I don't think we are going to need this. So let's see, we have those entries that we can use. So when we have an entry, let's do entries, and for each entry we want to do some things. And for each entry, then let's go to class names, not class names here. We need to first do target, then class names, class name, not class name, class list. And here we can actually toggle a class name to as the visible, and let's toggle this using entry is intersecting. And now we will just add what should be observed. So let's do observer observe, and now we'll just add some elements here. So I will do maybe document query selector div with class name, it was skills container. Yeah, and now let's see if I refresh. Let me open the console, and we have those skills here, and we have skills container. And let's see, if I scroll down, you can see it added this visible class name here. So if I scroll up, the visible class has disappeared. So that's cool. I think we can use the same for this intro section. So actually we can do observer and observe even this intro. So even if we scroll back up, the animation will be played again. So let's do observe, and let's do document, query selector, and section. Let's do that for every section. So now as you can see, we have this section intro here. If I scroll down, the intro doesn't have this visible class anymore. If I scroll up, it gets this visible class name, and the animation is played again. Let's see, you can see that's cool with those animations. You could remove this animation when you scroll back up, so it will be played only once by changing this toggle to just you can do just a class name and just add a class without toggling. You can just add. But I think it's good that it's funny to see the animation again if you scroll back to the element. So I will put it like this. Now for the skills, let's go back to our skills.css. And now we have also for our skills container, we have this visible class, and now we can add some styling based on this. So let's say that our skill box will be opacity of 0. Now it's nothing visible, but we can add that skills container when it has a visible class name, then the skills box will be visible. So let's do opacity of 1. So now it's visible. But now let's add some transition on everything. So on all 0.4 seconds and linear function here. Now if we scroll down, they fade in. But now the thing is that I would like to fade it in one by one. So what I mean by this is that we can add some transition delay on each box. Let's say that for skill box on the nth child of, let's say 2, the transition delay will be 0.4 seconds. And we can do the same for, let's do 3 more. So third will have 0.8 and the fourth will have 1.2 second. Yeah. And now if I scroll, we can see they're showing one by one. So first let's fix this SCSS. Inside the skill box, we have the span. I'll put it here, span, and let's do display of block. So it's underneath. But now let's see animations. Yeah, they show one by one. And if I scroll up and down again, they are showing one by one again. Maybe we can decrease here to 4 and 0.6 here. And let's see. Yeah. And now we could do the same for the second row, but there is a loop for SAS. So instead of doing this, let's do for each loop. And the thing is that we want to have a counter like I, and we want to go from 1 to 1 through, I don't know, the max will be 20, just in case if you add something more or someone else will add something more. And then, then we want to have only one such row here, and we can remove the rest. Let's put it here. Instead of this 2, let's put I plus 1. So it will start with 2. It will start with 1 inside this variable, but then we will add plus 1, so it will be 2. But as you can see, it blinks red because this will not work like this. We need to like this, yeah. And now we need to also change this delay. So actually, let's put this variable I, and we want to make it times 0.2. So this didn't work. Let's see. And this is because it renders this first and adds this to the CSS. Instead, we want to put it here inside. And same for this multiplication. Let's put it here inside this parenthesis. Right, so now let's refresh and let's see. Yeah, so now they are showing one by one. Let's make it faster. Let's decrease the delay to 0.1. And if I refresh, let's go back. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. We could add some more animation. Maybe let's do position relative, and let's say that will be bottom of let's say minus 20 pixels, and when it's visible it will be bottom of 0. So now if I refresh, yeah, let's see. Yeah, this will work. Maybe I would get rid of this bottom and position relative, and I would just keep this that it appears. But maybe we can do instead from the left. Yeah, why not? Left minus 20, and when it's visible, let's do left of 0. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's much better. Let's go again. Yeah, I think that will work. So now let's only add some padding on the bottom here. Let's say that here on the skills, let's add the padding bottom of at least 100 pixels. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, this looks nice. We could do the same thing for about this section here. So let's maybe go to our about SCSS. And as you remember, we added this observer on all sections. So we can actually do some maybe basic fade in animation. So let's say that about will be opacity of 0 and transition will be 0.3 seconds linear on everything. So let's do all, or maybe we can do just opacity, doesn't matter. And when the section about has class name visible, then the opacity will be 1. This didn't work. Let's see why. Section about, it doesn't get this visible class name. Let's see on our observer that we have on the index here. For each entry, we do visible. But this about doesn't get this. And even the skills. Okay, now I know why. This is because we are using query selector, not query selector all. So we are selecting only first one. Now if I add it, it says it should be one element passed to this observer. Do we have any? No, we can only observe one element, but we can get all those sections and we can look through them. So sections, and now for each. And here we can put a callback function. So I will do lm like this and open body of the function. And for each element that will be a section, we are going to observe this one. All right, we are going to fix the mobile version later, but for now, let's see. Yeah, the about is visible. Let's inspect this one. Let's see, about is visible, and let's go to about section and let's see. Let's maybe make it slower, 3 seconds. Let's refresh. Yeah, it fades in, works. Let's make it faster again. Yeah, this will work. Let's see, what do we have underneath? Then we have portfolio. So with our portfolio, let's see. Here we have a grid again. So I guess it will be simple. So let's go to our index.js and let's see. Let's add, we need another component here. So let's go to components, new, and let's do portfolio.js. And here inside, let's do export default portfolio. Yeah, function, I forgot again. And it will just return a section with ID of just portfolio. And well, let's put some content inside. So as always, we had this, we need a center div that we created. So let's do div center, and inside h2, it will say portfolio. And underneath we have like portfolio items and this button here. Maybe we can skip the button, we don't need this. So I will just put those images as, let's put those images as links inside the grid. So let's do div with class name portfolio container, why not? And on each and inside this one we'll have, let's say 6 links, and inside each we'll have an image. And let's put it like this. Now this looks really bad because we need to fix some formatting. So let's say that every a tag will be on a separate row, something like this, including this one. Okay, something went wrong here. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. All right, so now let's put some images inside. So I will go to Unsplash and let's take maybe, let's search for MacBook, and I want to have something that is a square. So let's search and let's see what kind of colors do we need. Color for colors. So I will take this one and I will download a, I think, medium version. Yeah, so now I will put it inside my imgs here. Yeah, I will just rename this file name. So it's a refractory name, and let's call this one MacBook JPEG. And now we can put it inside our images. So let's put it everywhere. For now, let's do img/macbook.jpg. So now it will be everywhere. Now it's not visible because portfolio is not used yet. We need to go to our index.js and we need to import it here. So let's do portfolio. Yeah, let's see if it has been imported. Yes, it has been imported for me. And we have this. So now let's see, we don't have any styling yet. So let's new file and let's do portfolio.scss. And we need to add this to our home. So let's do import portfolio. And now we can go back to portfolio SCSS. And now let's add some styling. So we have this section with ID portfolio. And let's say that inside we have this H2. Maybe let's start by fixing the background color because those are different. Let's see. I think that it should have the same background color as the skills. So let's see. Skills SCSS. Let's get this background color and let's put this inside portfolio. Yeah, that's better. Now the H2, the header should be align to center. So let's do text align center. Yeah, and now we have this grid for portfolio. So let's inspect it here. And we have this div with class name portfolio container. So let's do portfolio container. And well, it should be display of type grid. So let's do grid here, and grid template columns should be, let's see how many columns do we have. We have 3 columns. So I will do repeat 3 times 1FR. And I will also add some gap of 30 pixels. And let's see. Then we have a links. So I could do inside the portfolio container, we have a link. So I could do like this, but actually it's SCSS. So I can put it just a tag here and continue here. So let's say that a tag will be display of type block. This doesn't change anything, but the clickable area will be just the full image. And now what else do we need? We would like to have some, we have padding and we have everything. Maybe we can add some more images. Maybe I will add this one as well, medium, put it inside the images. Let's see, public images, put this one. And let's rename this one. So refactor rename, and let's call this one a MacBook 2. And let's go to our portfolio and let's add here MacBook 2 and here and maybe here. So we have some variation. Yeah, we might better to get some more images. I will take this one as well. This one is not square, but it doesn't matter. We can fix it inside our CSS. So we'll put this. And I will rename this one to MacBook 3, and let's take one more. So I will pick maybe this one. Yeah, let's download. Let's put it inside images, but let's rename this one to MacBook 4. MacBook 4. And now let's see, MacBook 3, MacBook 4, and now we should have some more images here. Yeah, that's better. And now it would be nice to have the same animation that we have here. So when I scroll up, they disappear. When I scroll down, they show up. Let's do the same for portfolio. So we can actually maybe just copy paste this from our skills. So let's go to skills. Here we have our skills.scss. And let's copy this for I loop to our portfolio. So we can put this for I loop here, and well, it will be an a tag inside portfolio container. So we can do just a tag here, and well, it adds just transition delay. Let's add opacity here to 0, and let's put transition on all elements, 0.3 seconds, linear function. Or maybe we can do easy in out, and then if it's visible. So if it's visible, we can do either something like this, section portfolio visible, then portfolio contain, then a tag, because we have only a tags here, will be opacity of 1. So now those are visible, but maybe we can do something also like this. Let's comment this one out, and let's try with a has section with ID folio that is visible, and then we'll add opacity of, okay, this didn't work, I guess, because this is CSS4, so I'll just remove it from here for now. You don't need to worry. Let's put it back like this, and yeah, it works. And yeah, if I scroll down, yeah, maybe we could add the different animation. So let's say we will not animate the, or we can animate the A tags, doesn't really matter, but let's change that the animation, it will also have a position relative, and it will be right, push to right to 20 pixels, or maybe more. Let's do 50, sorry, from the left. Let's put it from the left, and then the left will be 0. So let's see. Yeah, I think this will work. We get some horizontal scroll bar here, and we can solve it if we go to, the problem is that one of the skill or the portfolio item is pushed outside of the viewport. But if we go to globals, we can go to body and say that overflow on the X. So let's do X should be hidden. And now we don't have this scroll bar on the bottom. Yeah, it looks really nice. I think we are done with portfolio. We did it as a links. Let's see. Then we have some experience here. So let's put it quickly here. So for our experience, let's put a new component. I'll close those images here. Let's put a new component here. Let's do just experience.js, and let's do export default function experience, and it will just return a section with ID experience, yes, and let's put it inside our index.js. So let's see, under portfolio, let's add experience, and well, let's see what should we have inside experience. So it has this h2. So let's go to our experience.js and let's put h2, which should be inside, it should be center. So let's do div center h2 experience. Yeah. And now we have like a timeline. So for this timeline, how can we put it? Let's maybe do a div with a class name timeline, and then we'll have a timeline item. So let's do div timeline, and inside we will have a div with class name item. Let's do times 3, why not? And inside each item we have this label with a year or a date. Then we have this dot. Then we have right content. So we have 3 parts: left, middle, and right side. So inside each, I will put 3 divs. Div times 3, and or maybe let's start with the first div. The first div will have just a year. So I'll put like 2022 inside. Then the next div, so plus div, will have 2 elements, this dot and this line. So inside I will have a div with class name dot plus div with class name line. Then let's go up 1 level and we add another div, the third one, and the third one will have, let's say this will be h3, h4, and a paragraph. So inside let's do h3, that will be the title. So let's do senior JavaScript developer, and then we'll have h4. So let's do h4, and text inside will be, let's say, the location. So let's do Stockholm, Sweden, and the fourth element, so let's do plus, will be paragraph with some lorem ipsum. So now let's generate this HTML and let's see. Everything has been generated correctly, I think. Let's just make this lorem ipsum bigger on each. So here, here, and the third one here. Yeah. So now we need to just fix the styling. And the first thing is this h2 and the padding here. So as you can see, we need to add some padding here under the portfolio. So let's go to portfolio, and the first thing is that we need to add some padding on the bottom. Let's say 100 pixels. Yeah, and now I don't know if you see the differences in those colors, but you can see it here. We need to pull up this a little bit, this H2, so it will be between this and this color. So let's go to, I don't know if we have created experience.scss. No, we did not. So let's do new file, experience.scss, and let's add it to our home. So let's do import experience, and now let's go to experience. Now we can do div, not div, section with ID experience, and the H2 inside. Well, maybe not like this. Let's do like this, and H2 inside, so we can add some styling even for the section. But for H2 we want to make it position relative, and we want to pull it up. So let's do top minus 50 pixels, and that's too much. Let's do 25. Yeah, I don't know if it's in the middle. Those colors are not that different, so it's hard for me to see. Let's see here. Maybe I can copy it again. So this color should be the default on the body. So let's go to globals and let's make sure that this one is used. Yeah, now the difference on the colors is more visible. So we have this experience here. What else? Now we need to make this timeline look better. All right, so let's go to experience.scss and let's add some styling for our timeline. So the first, let's put just timeline. It's a timeline container we have there. Let's see inside our experience. No, it's just timeline, and inside we have a timeline item. Is it called like this? It's just item. So and this item should be display of flex, because we have 3 items in each. In each item we have 3 sub items or 3 divs. So that's why we used display flex. And let's see how it looks like. So we have display item 3, and inside each we have 3 divs. I forgot to add some class names, so I'll do this now. For the first, it will be a date as a class name, and then for the second, I will add a class name of separator. Yeah, and the last one, when it says senior JavaScript developer, this div I will add on all of those. I will add the texts, why not? And now let's go back to our CSS for experience section. So let's maybe first the date. Let's do the date. So let's do .date. So it will be div with class name date, and we want to change the background color. So let's pick this one. Let's copy it from here, and let's do background color of this. But it shouldn't go all the way down. And this happens because we have display of flex. But an easy way to fix it would be actually to get all those dates and actually put another span inside and putting those year numbers inside spans. So now instead of putting the background color on the whole div, we can add a span here and put the background color here. So we have only under the text. Now we add some padding. So let's say it will be 5 pixels, and let's make it display inline block just in case. Yeah, and it should be a triangle on the right side of this label. Let's maybe add some more here, padding. Now we need to have a triangle. So the easiest way is to just Google triangle CSS, and there are some generators online. So let's take this one, and we want on the right side, and we want to make it width of let's define a width here of 30 pixels, and let's see how it looks like here. I think this will work. So let's do 30 pixels and 30 pixels in height, and maybe on the width let's make it smaller, like 20. Yeah, and well, we need to change the color to this one, so I will copy and paste it here. The update, yeah, it looks fine. So the CSS is just this, and I will put it as a after. So let's do after, and let's add the content to nothing, and let's see if it worked. Yeah, we have this kind of arrow here, but this didn't work. This added this gray even underneath. So instead of putting after on the span element, I will put it on the date. And now it is a little better, but well, let's see. Let's on the date, let's add padding on the right. Let's say 20 pixels. Yeah, this is better. The arrow is not fully visible. Let's see, 15, 15, 20. Maybe let's see what happens if we change it to 15 here as well. No, maybe we can put it as a separate element. Let's do span with class name arrow, and this one will be span with class name year. Now let's go to experience.js and let's add those class names here. So span with year, let's select all of those. Let's add a class name on this one to year, and when it ends, let's add a span with class name arrow or triangle, doesn't really matter. The result is the same, so this didn't help. Let's see why. I think we have covered everything exactly the same way. Let's try with red. Okay, I think why it happens. I think it happens because this date div is inside item, and it's inside a div that is a flex element, and we need to add the flex grow so it will not be cut. No, this didn't help either. Let's see, we have this date here, year, that's 30 pixels in height. Then we have this arrow that is too big, should be much smaller. Let's maybe use another generator in case they are wrong. I want this one, 30 pixels, 30 pixels, and the color should be this hashtag. Yeah, and yeah, maybe we forgot to add inline block, and that's why. But let's put it here and let's see. Yeah, now it's much better. But it's not in the line, but if we add display flex here, it will be. Now it needs to just get shorter. So yeah, if we change it to 10 here, it works. We can get rid of padding right here, or we can decrease it to 5 pixels, maybe 10. Yes, this will work. Let's see. Let's just change this year line height to 30 pixels. Maybe that's too big. Yeah, because it has also the padding on the top and the bottom. Now it's better. So now in the middle, we don't see it, but in the middle we should have those separators. Each separator has a dot and a line. So let's see, inside item where it ends. So let's add the separator, and inside we have a dot. So let's make the dot the width of 5 pixels. The height should be also 5 pixels. Oops. And let's make background color of gold. And yeah, we have it here. Maybe it should be bigger. Yes, it should be much bigger. Let's do 25 and 25. Let's do border radius of the %, so it's a circle-ish. And now we need to have like a shadow. So let's do box shadow. Let's say 20 pixels, and let's use this gold. Yeah, I think we got this. I think this will work, yeah. And after the separator, we have also div with texts. And on this, I just want to add the padding left of, let's say 20 pixels for now. Let's see, yeah, maybe more padding here. So let's see. The year and the date. Let's pull the date. So it's the position relative and top minus, let's do 3 pixels. So it will be in the line, yes, with the dot. And let's add some padding right of 15. So we have more spacing here. Okay, and now the thing is that we have this div separator, and then we have this div line. So the separator can actually become, let's maybe fix the line first. Let's do line, and the line will be, let's say, min height of the line. So it will be visible, let's say 10 pixels, and the width, let's say it will be 2 pixels, and background color of white. So we have these small lines here, but now let's do that the line take all the possible space here. So the separator, if we do this display flex, then the line takes all the height, but it's next to the dot and not underneath. But if we do flex direction row, sorry, columns, not columns, column, then it's underneath. And let's see, here we have the line, here we have the separator. Now for the line, we need to add the flex grow. Flex grow, now it takes all the possible space, but now we can push it more to the right. So let's do margin left of, I don't know, 23 pixels. Oh, that's too much. 12. Yes. And the margin top of, I don't know, 5 pixels. Same on the bottom, margin bottom 5 pixels. Yeah, maybe more spacing here. So let's do maybe 8 here and 8 here. Yeah, let's see here. Yes, maybe we can make those dots a little bigger. Let's make them 30 pixels. Yeah, so we can fix the date first. We don't need to pull it 3 pixels anymore. And same for the lines. We have this margin left 12. We can make it 15, I think, or 10. Yeah, and more margin from the top and the bottom. Let's do 12 here and 12 here. Yeah, that's much better. And now for the texts. For the text, I want to add a lot of padding on the bottom. So let's say 25 pixels. Yes. And maybe even more. Let's do 35. And for all headers, the first one and the second, or maybe we can grab just the second. So let's see. Inside text, we have this H4. For the H4, we want to add some margin from the top to 10 pixels at least. Maybe that's too much. The 6. Yeah. And let's do the same for the bottom. Margin bottom 6 pixels. Yes, and I think that will work. And the H3 could be bigger. So let's do H3 here inside text. Should be font size of, let's do 2 rem. That's big. Let's do 1.6. And let's do font weight, sorry, to regular, or yeah, it's called normal, I think. Yeah, that's better. Same font weight maybe for H4. Yeah, and now the paragraph inside. So the main text should be darker. So let's do color of, we can do white, but with 50% transparency. That's too dark. Let's do 70% opacity, maybe 65. And let's add some line height of 1.4 rem. Yes, even H4 could be bigger. So let's do font size 1.4 rem. Yeah, and maybe this one can be 1.7. Yes, and this will work. Now the cool thing is I would like to have animation that first it will show this one, then this and this. So for each item, where is it? Here we have item. Let's say that we will have opacity of 0, so it's not visible. But then remember we add the visible class name to all sections. So let's do section with ID experience. When it got this visible class name, let's for the div with class name timeline, we have a div with class name item inside. We want to make it opacity of 1, but we forgot to add a transition. So let's scroll up. Let's add transition on all attributes, 0.3 seconds, and easy in out. Yeah, why not? So now, but they all show at once. I will make this one longer, and I will also here add this transition delay for in every next item. So I think I will copy this for each loop from portfolio. Here we have it. And let's copy this back to our experience. And instead of a tag, we will use ampersand because it's about the item that we are already in. And let's see, let's do 0.2 seconds. And this should work. This works. So when I scroll down, it shows like 1 by 1. Let's make it faster to 0.1 second. but and this should be faster as well. Let's do 0.3, and let's make it also to go from the top more to the bottom. So let's say it will be position relative, and top, let's do minus 50 pixels, and then when it's visible, let's do top 0. Yeah, this looks nice. Maybe we can increase the delay to, let's do 0.3. Yes, but now I would like to add a separate another animation just on those lines, so they will go like they will be visible, just they will unfold. Yes, so on those lines, let's say that transition will be on everything. So let's do all 0.4 seconds, and linear or easy in out, we will not see that much of a difference. And we'll add max height of 0 pixels, and then let's add extra CSS here. So when we have this for item, I will just copy this and change this to div with class name line. And inside we will go max height, and we will do that. The max height will be, I don't know, 80 pixels. That should be enough. And let's see, is it line? Is it a div line? I don't know. Let's see. It's still shrink. Maybe we need to add more. We need to be more precise here. Div item. Yeah, now it's better. It should be bigger here. Let's do 200 pixels. So now if I refresh, we want to add some extra delay for the lines. So let's copy this and let's put it inside line. And for the line, I want to make it 0.3 delayed times the order of the element. But I also want to add the plus 0.3 seconds. So it will be unfolding after the each slides down. Well, kinda. Well, it unfolds at the same time. And maybe we need to put those into parentheses like this. Let's see now. Everything shows. Yeah, I think, no, we have this transition here. Let's inspect this one. And let's see, we have this transition delay 2.6, and this one has a separator line also 2.6. All right, now I understand, because this loop is looping through the lines that are next to each other, but we don't have any lines next to each other. So we need to put it separately. So maybe here, let's do section experience div item, and but not visible. So we'll remove this visible item, and line should have this loop. And now let's see. The second line has a delay of 0.6, and the first line also. And we need to fix something here. All right, we should put this line. We need to loop through the items. So let's get rid of this line and let's put it here. And now let's see, still the same. Maybe we should. We are looping through, but it's not line and child. Instead, it should be the item. So this one, ampersand, we are looping through the items. And then inside this loop, we want the line to have. So now let's see, this line has a delay. I don't see any delay, but let's check this one, 0.6, and let's check the third one, separator line 0.9. So maybe now it should work. Yeah, now it works. Yeah, if we remove this to just hang this, yeah, I think this looks really nice. Yeah, I think this looks really nice. We could actually maybe decrease the padding here. And this, we can actually put it back to the item. So we can copy this, go to the item where we have animation or delay for our item. We can next to this put animation for line that is inside the item. So this should work as well. Let's see. Yeah, I think it does. And if we make it slower, Let's do 0.5 here and here. Sorry, here 0.5, kinda. Let's add here 0.5 seconds, and let's see again. No, it doesn't work here anymore. So for the every nth child of the item, the line, well, I would just put it back where it was, so I'm sure it works. Let's see one more time. Yeah, the lines unfold and it's fine. Now, padding bottom, we have it here for the text. Let's decrease it 20 and well, maybe let's see how it looks like here. We can increase the margins here for the line. So margin bottom for the line, let's do 22. And from the top, let's do 22 as well. And now maybe we can, let's see, maybe even more. Let's do 30 and 30 here. And now we can, on the text, we can do padding bottom 30 here as well, or maybe more, 40. And well, let's see. We can do padding top here as well, at least 10 pixels. Maybe not, it should be in line with this dot. Let's see. But on the paragraph, we can do margin top of at least 10 pixels. We can do 15. Yeah. That looks better. Maybe we could make the text a little darker and increase the margin here. So let's see, text padding left. Let's do 30. Yeah, this will work. Maybe even more. Let's do 40. Yeah, this will work. Maybe we have too much margin here from the top. So let's do 10. And let's make it a little bit darker. So let's do 55. Yes. And let's decrease the line height 1.3. We could actually put more lorem ipsum text to our experience. Let's see. Maybe on the first one, let's do lorem, and on the second one as well, lorem. Yeah. Let's see the animation once again. Yeah, looks really nice. So I think we are done with experience, and the last two parts are contact me and thanks for sharing. So let's see. Let's go back to index.js, and we need to add another component. So let's go to components, new, and well, the next one will be called contact.js. And let's create this one, and let's do export default function, contact. Yeah, and it will return, let's do again a section with ID contact, and let's see, inside we'll have an h2 contact me with maybe capital M. Yeah, and then inside we will have also free buttons or free links or free boxes. So let's see, and there will be free boxes, and yeah, let's just start by putting free boxes. Div times free. Div with class named box times, let's add maybe some text inside each box, or maybe not, because there will be icons. I will put them separately. So in the first box and in the second and third, they will all have the same thing. The icon on the left, and then span element or div or wherever you want to have there. But I think I will use span elements. So for the icons, let's go to Font Awesome and let's see. We need envelope, phone, and pointer, map pointer. Let's start with envelope. Let's use outline icons. So SVG, envelope here, but we have this weird comment, HTML comment that we want to get rid of. So let's select this and let's remove. Then we have a phone that we need to find. So this is the phone, outline, SVG copy. Oh, this is a pro icon. Okay, I want no pro. This is a pro icon. Show filters, free icons only. Phone, don't we have a phone that is outline? No, that's okay. I will take this one then. And I will put it here. But same, I will just remove this Font Awesome comment because those comments will not work inside JSX. And the third icon will be pointer, map pointer. And well, let's try with map location dot. Yeah, this one will work. Let's copy, let's put it here. And here as well, we need to get rid of this font awesome comment. Yeah, and now under the SVGs, let's put also some text, or it should be actually links, I think. So let's do a tag, and the first one is email. So let's do that. It will go with to mail to, and my email, I'll put it here again, just example.com, doesn't really matter. Then we have phone, so a tag with tell, so it will call, and so it will call when you click on it. The phone, let's do, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. This is the type of number we got in Sweden, so it doesn't really matter. You can put just your number. The last link will be a link to Google Maps, let's say, and it will be just Stockholm, Sweden, and we can just put it here. So let's do Google Maps, Stockholm, and I will just copy this link and I will put it here. So we have something. All right. So nothing is visible yet because we are not importing this. So let's go to index.js, and under the experience, let's do contact. Yeah, almost there. So let's see. We need to fix some styling. We don't have any contact yet here inside our SCSS. So let's do contact.scss. And well, in here, what do we want to do? We want to maybe first add it to home, so it will be imported. Import for our homepage. Import contact. Yes, and now we can fix some styling. So first, the H2 should be in the middle. So let's do section with ID contact. H2 inside should be text align center. So it's in the center. The next thing is I want to add this gold line on this section contact. So let's do maybe border top. I think it should be pixels, solid, and color gold. This didn't work. Let's see. Border top 12x. No, it should be, well, 2 pixels. Okay, now we have the line. For the, maybe we can add some margin from the top here. Margin top of at least 50 pixels. Yes. Now for the H2, we want to pull it up. So let's do position relative, and let's do top minus 25 pixels. More, let's do 28. Yeah. Now we don't want to have the color underneath. So what can we do is actually to, we can add some background color on this H2. So let's copy this, and on the H2 let's add background color of hashtag this. Okay, it went down. Why? I have just removed the minus 28 pixels. Now it has disappeared because our H2 takes the whole width, but if we make it inline block, then it doesn't anymore. Let's add some padding. From the top and the bottom it will be 0, but on the sides let's do 20 pixels, so it will have some extra spacing, as you can see here. Maybe it should be even bigger, so let's do maybe 50. Yes, but now it should be centered. So maybe we can try with margin of 0 auto. No, this didn't help. But maybe if we just put text align center on the section, now it's centered. And even the buttons or the boxes inside should be centered. Let's see what was the name of those? Yes, box, div with class name box. So inside section contact, we have div with class name box. And well, on each, let's start with SVG. The height of the SVG should be, let's say, 30 pixels. Yes. So the fill color, let's do white. And well, now let's do some styling for the box itself. The background color should be this. So I will copy this, and now it's the background color of this. But the box should be display of inline block. Yeah, kinda. But it should go under the contact me. And it shouldn't be here. So maybe if I will just put all those boxes inside just a separate div, it will be in a new line. Yes, they are. All right. So instead of doing position relative, because as you can see, this H2 leaves a lot of empty space because it has been dragged up. I will change it to position absolute, and I will add a position relative on the section. Right, now it doesn't work anymore. And this is because we need to change the left to 50% here. And well, now we need to put margin left on the minus, I don't know, 100 pixels at least. Oops, yeah, almost there. And we need to set the width on this one. So let's do 300 pixels. More, we need more, 350. And this will be minus half of the width. So let's do 175. Yes. And now we can add some padding here on the section because everything is cluttered. So padding on the top and the bottom, let's do at least 100 pixels, and on the side 0. Yeah. Now for the boxes, well, let's see. We have 2 boxes and then underneath there's another box. So I think maybe after the second box, I will just add a break line. That will be much simpler. So for the boxes, let's say that they will be inline block. I will put a width on those. So it's the width of 300 pixels. And well, maybe that's too much. Let's do 200. Maybe that's too little. Let's do 250. And now we want to add some margin on every side. So let's do maybe just 10 pixels on everything. And let's do display flex. So we have this display inline block, but let's change this to inline flex instead. So the items inside are next to each other. And now align items center. So the text will be in the middle. And now the SVG. Let's add some margin on the right side of 10 pixels. Yeah. And on the box itself, let's add some padding of, I don't know, at least 10 pixels. Yes. And the SVG, as you can see, the first one has decreased in size. Let's maybe change this to 280 so it will have enough space. Yes. Now let's see how the text should look like. It should be gold. So let's do inside div box we have 8 tags, and the color should be gold, and text decoration none, and I think it should be more bold-ish. So more margin right here from the icons, and maybe not to 50. Yes, and let's do border radius on the boxes of let's do 10 pixels. So we will have rounded corners, maybe more 15. And more padding, let's do 15 pixels of padding. Yeah, this will work. Now I think that inside the content should be centered inside the box. So as you can see, the icon is next to the text and everything should be centered inside. So here on the box, I will do justify content space around. No, let's see what else. Space between, space evenly. Well, we can do actually just center. This is what I wanted. All right, so this works. The links should work as well. So we have contact me. Maybe that's too much of a padding. So I will do 60. And then the last part is the footer. So let's create a component for our footer. Footer.js, export default function footer. Oops, like this. And it should just return a footer. Footer, we don't need any class names or anything. And here inside, we will have thanks for scrolling and social icons. And let's do class name social, and we will have 2 icons here. So the first will be let's see, we have it on the top. We have LinkedIn and Instagram. So I will go to header and I will copy those 2 links just like this, and I will put them here at the footer. Yeah, and underneath we will have like an extra header that will say thanks for scrolling. It will be, let's say it will be in an H2, a specific H2. So thanks for scrolling. Yeah, and now we can add this to our index.js. So here, footer, yeah, and let's see, it has been imported for me, no worries here. So now we can add styles. Let's add styles, footer.scss, and well, we could make less files here. Maybe just we could put footer and header into globals, and then you could put maybe just all sections in one sections that's CSS, or everything inside the home CSS. I don't know, but well, let's put it inside footer for now. We will have some CSS here, but we need to also add it to home. So let's do import footer like this. And now let's see, we have our footer here. Now we need to add some styling. So footer, and let's see. First, we need this different background color. So I will pick this color here and I will copy. I guess we are using the same for the boxes here above, but well, just to be sure, footer, background color, or maybe just background, doesn't really matter. Hashtag this, yeah, and we need a gold line above, border top, 2 pixels, solid, and gold. Yes. Now for the social icons, that should be on this line. Let's put them there. So we have div here inside with class name social. Let's see. Yeah, social. And when I put it inside this div footer, as you can see, div social is inside this footer, this footer element. It means that the CSS here will be only for the div social that is inside footer. Right, but let's style SVGs. Let's make them smaller. So let's do height of 25 or maybe 25 pixels, and the fill color should be white, and social div should be width of, I don't know, 100 pixels, and it should be in the middle. But I will make it like this. I will do position on absolute, and on the footer I will do position relative, and now I can do top of minus 10 pixels, let's see, and the left should be 50%. Yeah, and now they're start on the middle here, but actually I need to pull it left by the half of the width. So let's do margin left minus 50 pixels, because they have width of 100. And now I also need to add this background color, I think. Well, this will be complicated, because if we add background color, it will be wrong. So to put those social icons, I will actually change this. Because if we have div social, and if we put here background color, this color change will not work. And to fix it, I will actually make that this div social will be this big, and inside we will have 3 divs. The first one, the second one, and the third one. 2 divs with a class name line, and 1 div with class name links. So let's go back to our footer.js, and let's put those links inside the div with class name links, and let's put empty divs here, line here, and here also line. And well, let's see. Now let's style this thing. So let's go to footer CSS, and we don't need this position absolute left and top and margin left, and we don't need position relative here, but instead we will get rid of this border top as well. And on the div social, we have also 2 divs with class name line here, and on those 2 I will add line of 2 pixels border top. And div social will be 100%, so I will remove this, but instead I will add display of type flex. And now on the line I will add the flex grow to 1, so the lines will take all the space. You see, I will inspect it so we can see how it looks like. So we have this div social that takes all the width, and inside we have line 1 links and line 2, and this is flex, so it shows in the 1 row. But now on the div links, let's add some padding on the top and the bottom. Let's say 0 on the top and the bottom, but 20 on the sides. Maybe more, let's do 50 on the sides. Yeah, and now the icons that are inside. Let's see, those icons we can pull those. So inside links, let's add a tag, and those, let's do position relative top minus 10 pixels. Yeah, And let's add some margin or maybe padding. Padding 0 on the top and the bottom, but 10 on the sides. Yes, maybe a little bit less. Let's do 6. Yes, this will work. Now let's see. We have some weird padding here, as you can see, and this one comes from this H2. So we have this footer, H2 has some margin. So here is where we close our footer before. Let's do H2, and let's say that margin bottom will be 0. Yes, and the text align should be center, and let's add padding inside. Let's do padding from the top and the bottom. Let's do 50 pixels, and on the sides 0. Yeah, so we have some things for scrolling, but let's change the styling a little bit. So let's do font wave to 600, and the color, I think it's already 600. So let's do just color of this gold. Yeah, and yeah, I think it should be normal here for, let's do font wave of normal. Yeah, it should be a little smaller. So let's do font size of, I don't know, 2 rem. Yeah, I think that will work. So now maybe we can add some extra animation on the contact. So let's go back to contact and let's see. Let's make the boxes opacity of 0 and transition on all attributes 0.3 seconds, easy, all in. And now for the section with ID contact, when it has visible class name, then the div with class name box should be opacity of 1. So now if we scroll down, they just show up. We can add also this for loop, for I loop. I will just copy it again from for example, experience here, experience CSS. So let's go to contact and let's see, we have this opacity here, transition, but let's add some delay. Let's see. Yeah, maybe that's too much of a delay. You can do 0.2 seconds. And if I scroll up and down again, yeah, maybe even less. Let's refresh. Yeah, I think this will work. Yeah, and let's see. Yes, yes, yes. Animation looks really nice. And now I can show if you want to have animation only once. Let's see. Let's go to index.js, and here we have this toggle, but instead of the toggle, we can do something like this. We can do entry, target, class name, and we can just add a class name of, let's do space, visible. Yes. Now, if I refresh, we get some animations, or do we? Sorry, we should only add this class name if entry is intersect. So let's do if entry is intersecting, then we add the class name. Do it again. So we get the animation, but if we scroll up, it's already animated. So it's already visible. It's not toggling this as we were doing this before. I think it's nice that you can replay the animation if you scroll up. Yeah, that's really nice. So we have this, we have some icons here. We can fix some navigation here. So let's go to header. So those links will work. And the first one will be about. We'll go to about. The second will go to portfolio. And the third will go to contact. So now if we click on those and they scroll down, but they scroll really, really fast. But there is actually a CSS attribute to fix it, and it's called scroll behavior on the body. So I will go to my global CSS, and here let's do scroll behavior to smooth. Yeah. Now let's refresh, and if I click contact, well, it's still really fast. Yeah, I think, yeah, sorry, this should be actually on the HTML element. Now if I click contact, you see it's scrolling down to contact, about to about, portfolio to portfolio. Yeah, so everything works really nicely. So I think that will be all for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. Have a nice day and see you in the next video.